Once upon a time. That's how the stories always start. But you know better. You know it wasn't once upon a time, but just yesterday, just tomorrow, just every day for the rest of your life. Welcome to Changeling the Lost. Welcome to a world like our own, but more beautiful, more terrible, infinitely more dangerous and more tempting. Fairy monsters from your nightmares and your wildest fantasies reach out from the other side of dreams. During 2 episodes, you will hear our patron Tobias storytell Hjalmar and Craig through the adventure Hearts on Trial. Now, what are you waiting for? Step through the hedge.
Sometimes people disappear. They get snatched from our sight and leave without a trace. But we don't even notice it or miss these people because there's somebody who looks just like them. These things are made out of twigs, twine and road dirt. They wear the faces of the lost. They walk in the shoes of the lost. And they dine with the loved ones of the lost. Nobody suspects anything, and if you look into a mirror and see buttons instead of your wife's eyes, then you turn around and look into her face. There's nothing wrong with it. It must be your imagination. Or you're slowly turning mad. Better keep quiet about it. Whilst we live in ignorance, the lost are dragged through the hedge. It's a realm between realms, and it's full of thorns. They bite and tear into your flesh and soul, ripping form and memories off of you, poor creature, until next to nothing is left. After this torture, the captured are brought to Arcadia, the homeland of the fair folk, the gentry, the fairies. It's a wild land of dreams, wonders, nonsense, and great pain. For the fair folk take humans and reform them. Sometimes they need a deer to hunt, so they make the lost into a fine game. Sometimes they need a candle, so they stir the flames in the heart of a human being and make it burn until it is burned out. Most of the taken never return, never find the way back or even a glimpse of a memory from home. But some, very few, remember and try to escape. This reminds me of a small motley of colorful lost. There was once a fae called Grandmother, and she was alone. She had heard about something called loneliness and decided she had this thing or feeling or whatever. She also heard that loneliness was a bad thing, so she had to act. She went to the human realm, the iron world, and looked for someone to fill the void. She found them and brought them back. They were so nice, so wonderful, so unfinished. Grandmother used all her power to form these children into something new, into a wonderful family. She also made a wooden doll out of a fitting human, and she even didn't forget about the pets. She made some nice cages and introduced some wonderful rules and laws so that nobody fell out of their role. Everything was close to perfect. But then the black sheep of the family misbehaved and ran away from grandmother's caring household. And all the other children followed, even the wooden doll. This was completely incomprehensible to the fairy, and she assembled a hunting party with bloodhounds and wild riders. The children escaped and ran through the hedge. Once again, the thorns ripped and shredded the escapees, and many dangers lurked deep in the brambles. Some they bargained with, some they tricked, and some they dispatched with brute force. In the end, they returned from the Emerald Maze only to find somebody else had taken their places, was wearing their faces, was walking in their shoes, and dining with their loved ones. Even if they had returned, there was no place to return to, and they realized they had lost everything, except for the little family, so they stuck together. Finally, they found others just like them, the forgotten, the lost, other changelings. This was really good, because the young Motley brought their own magic, dreams, and hunters with them back to Earth. To aid each other and control their twisted fey magics, they swore an oath to each other to stand vigilant and steadfast together. They even found a new home, a changeling community called a freehold. These communities are reigned by seasonal monarchs and partitioned into the courts of spring, summer, autumn, and winter. This night is an autumn night, and because of that, the Autumn Queen, Lady November, leads the freehold in its struggle against the gentry and a rival freehold. But even magical oath can be broken, and trust can be betrayed. So now, it is once upon a time once again, and we are floating in the sky. Down below us is a big city, so big indeed that it hosts more than one changing community. Far away, we can see the complex in which the Queen resides. Its windows are illuminated by jack-o'-lanterns. But our gaze turns to a different street. We lower ourselves between some buildings and glance through a window. Even though it's early before sunrise, there's somebody awake inside. Red. It is almost dawn, and 10 minutes before your phone rings. Why are you awake?
I don't know. It's nice sometimes just to watch, see what's going on outside. I always have trouble sleeping, but you know, it's not a big deal. I'm watching out the window, playing around with my little skateboard. Maybe I'll go out for a little bit of a ride come morning. Ideally before anyone else is awake, really. I like my time, my personal time, you know?
It's indeed 5 minutes before dawn and before your phone rings. What are you doing to make sure you aren't dreaming anymore?
Ooh. It's always tricky, but I find when I'm still, it's easier than when I'm not still. Although then sometimes I can't be still for very long. I'm quite literally thinking this, fidgeting with my hand as my phone rings, and I almost look very startled because I don't know why someone would be ringing me on my phone at this time in the morning. It's weird. I pick it up. Hey, Red.
You answer the call, and we change locations. You stand completely still. The air thick of flavors. It tastes like red berries, summer sun, laughter and honey. Deeply you inhale the dripping air. On your skin the juices trickle and drip to the ground. You start feeling intoxicated. Everything is spinning around you. These are beautiful smells. But there's something else. Smoke? Yes, smoke. You inhale a thick black smoke, and as you can see clear again, you realize you are standing in the smoldering ruins of your goblin fruit greenhouse. You and your Motley worked the necessary glamours for years. This was a place of purpose and retreat for you, but now it's gone, burned to the ground.
I am panicked for a moment. I don't know how I got here. The phone? Has someone done something to my phone? A spell. I look around. Am I alone?
Yes, you are. Somebody must have called you here. But maybe it's the vapors, the goblin fruits. This could have these effects, that's right. And your greenhouse, it's gone. All the work, all the labor.
I don't understand. I look around. Well, okay. Need to work out what's going on. Have I got my phone on me still?
Yes, you do.
I really try hard and think, how could I have been brought here? I do know a little of the occult. I know a great deal, in fact. I had to study so much. Well, I didn't have to. There was just nothing to do back in Arcadia. Nothing to do in the dark except read. But, yes, how have I been brought here? Has someone done something to bring me here, summoned me somehow?
Roll Wits plus Occult.
Okay, that will be 9 dice. 3 successes.
Okay. You know yourself. You know this happens from time to time. If something horrible happens, something you would like to avoid, something that takes the ground from under your feet, then it might happen that you black out. And now, with all the goblin fruits in the air, yes, this must have been it. You look on your phone. There's a call, just some minutes ago, from Ash, one of your friends of your family. She told you to go here, yes. She talked about the war with the orchard, the other freehold. This must have an attack on your freehold, on you. By thinking about it, you feel the panic coming up again. This very important thing to you, to your Motley, it's gone. Some form of stability.
I take in a deep, heavy breath. It's not fair. We don't have much. You need to keep the things you have, because if they go, it doesn't go good for us. It doesn't go good. Was this done by the others? The other changelings? The other court? Why? I know we've been having territory problems, but why here? I start stepping away because I don't want to keep inhaling the smell of the fruits. That's why I've blacked out. I'm getting overwhelmed by the smell. I need to clear my head.
Yeah, that's the right idea. And with the question of why and the thought about your loss, you have to roll for clarity. This attacks your perception, your gripping on reality. So please roll 3 dice. You don't want to have any successes.
I got no successes.
This is good for you, so you can keep it together.
Okay, good. I just stand there for a moment looking at this scene. I need to talk to one of the others. I'm going to call... who? Ash! I can call back Ash, can't I? She'll know what's going on. I'll apologize for being so stupid. I've completely forgotten what I was even doing. I do that a lot sometimes. I fidget a lot and then quickly reach for my phone to recall Ash's number.
You do, but there's no answer. But you're lucky. Ash made an arrangement for your Motley to meet this morning. In some hours, you will be at your usual meeting points. The whole family together. This will help you to get back on your feet, to ground yourself.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, I flip my skateboard to the ground, jump on it, skillfully, of course. It's one of the few things I'm good at, and I'm proud to be good at it. It's good to be good at something. And very quickly begin making my way to the meeting point.
So you do. Change of location. Once again, it is early before dawn, and we are up in the sky. Like fish in the water, we dive down into the streets. We come by many dark and closed windows, but there's one already lit. We close in on it and see somebody already awake. Leandra, it's 10 minutes before dawn. Why are you awake?
I don't like the feeling of the sun getting ahead of me. In fact, I have been up a great deal longer than this. I was up in the middle of the night, around 2. I had woken up then because I felt something in the air, a strange smell, and I felt compelled to go out and walk the street. I had to know if something had been going on tonight. I was walking around South Street, hunched over, sniffing, looking around. Something was wrong. It felt as if something was incoming. I needed to be there in case someone was approaching the territory. My friends. And I stalked the night. I found nothing. I smelled the air. I looked around. I saw the early risers starting their commute. But I found nothing. And so I made my way back to my apartment. Now it's almost dawn, and I'm glad to be awake before the sun. I mix some coffee, and I stand there, and I smell it, and I smell it, and I smell it, and I enjoy every second, every sniff, finding every little hint of aroma. And I open my larder, and I just stand there, and I smell the different smells coming from in there. The smell of tomato, the smell of steel in cans, the smell of corn leaking out of one of the cans as if it wasn't sealed properly, and I feel all this mixed together with my coffee, and I have a little sip.
It's the time of twilight, 5 minutes before your phone rings. And this is the tricky time. The time you can't be sure what is real and what not. Tell me, what do you do to make sure you are awake and not still dreaming?
I sit crouched up on the table, my morning table, of my living room table, and I clutch on to its sides. It's a small table, it's round, almost like the floor of a bird's cage, and I sit up there perched, and I hold on to it, and with one hand I hold my coffee cup. With the other, I feel my claws bury into the sides of the table, and I move it gently around the edges of the table as to feel that there are no bars, in fact there, nothing keeping me jailed inside what could otherwise be a bird's cage, but it is just a table. My hands keep stroking around the edges of the table so that I know for sure that there is not a cage outside of it.
And then the phone rings. You answer the call, and we change locations. The stench of blood reached you even before you walked through the broken door into the barber shop. You hear your instincts scream to get better ready, but all the fighting is already done. Everything on the inside is broken to pieces. The mirrors, the chairs, the bodies. There are feathers everywhere, and you are sure these marble pieces resembled a human being once. The killed people were changelings.
I instinctively want to duck down, as if battle was about to occur, but I see that it is already done indeed, and I walk along the wall, feeling my way around, watching the gore and the blood, and I smell it thick. Do I know any of these people?
Roll me a wits plus streetwise.
I have a specialty in rumors,
Yeah, great. You can add one additional die.
to see if I have heard of any of these, if nothing else. 1 success.
That's enough. You heard about the marble person. She was a member of the Spring Court, but not of your freehold. She was not a part of Nevermore. She belongs, or should I say, belonged, to the orchard. This might have been a gathering point for the other freehold. Now it's run down.
And I sit down next to her dead body and look at her. Did she come here to fight? Does she look as if she was dressed and ready to fight, or was she ambushed?
This is wits plus investigation.
I get a 9 and a 10, which explodes then.
Yes,
2 successes.
that's still enough. These people were probably meeting here. There was some force from the outside, probably 3 or more intruders. They came in here, and did a lot of damage. The marble person, the feathery person, they must have been surprised. The stone keeps the fear in the eyes as you look into them. You notice something else. This place, it's warm. Too warm for this early. Actually, everything here has a light radiance. All the colors are heightened, just as if it was a bright summer day. Yes, this smells of summer. And you know the signature. This massacre wasn't done by your rival freehold, or the gentry, or goblins. No, this was committed by your people, the Summer Court of Nevermore.
They must have had a reason. I find myself millimeters away from the eyes of her as I looking into her, and I smell the fear that has been passing through her. As I look around and see this tint in the air. I think to myself, somehow one of us then, one of us, I think to myself. I'm not even part of a court anymore. I was kicked out of mine because of what I did. One of my friends' places. Who's part of the summer court?
Pretty Penny, she is of the summer.
Well, she would know perhaps. Maybe I should ask her. I think. And I rise up on 2 legs. It's probably not good to stay around here if this is a scene of a crime. I look around if there's anything else I think I should take notice of. I lift some of the broken glass and Is there any wardrobe, anything, any place where someone could have been hiding?
No. They found everything. You take an extra look around, and a wild thought strikes. Not all your friends are part of Nevermore. There's one, Ambrose, the dog from a long time ago when you were still with grandmother.
And what are they part of?
He was just like you, part of the courts. And he was thrown out. He even... I don't want to think about it, but... he even joined the orchard because there was no place in Nevermore for him anymore. And then, some month ago, he lured you into a trap. He tried to get you into the hedge, and there he waited with goblins and a huntsman, some fake creatures to bring you back to grandmother. He was talking about protection for himself, and there was a price to pay.
He gave us up for his own safety. Could this be related to that?
Maybe. There's so much going on right now. Some people call it a war between the Orchard and Nevermore. It's going on for a pretty long time, but such brutal attacks. This hasn't happened for a long time. The regent, the monarch, Lady November of the Autumn Court, she made some progress. She is getting everybody to a summit and have peace talks. Today there is a special meeting, and she wants to get both sides to agree on peace. This will get difficult.
She will not be interested in my presence there, but I'll try anyway. And I draw a sigh, and I feel a sting of worry. I need to contact my friends and make sure they're all right. They should know about this. Maybe I should talk to Pretty Penny first, but I'm not sure, and I leave the place.
You do. And luckily for you, Ash set up a meeting with your Motley, and you will meet at your special gathering place. It's a nice cafe, and I bid you to tell me what is so special about this place. Why do you go there?
When we escaped grandmother, we were on the run. It was a while when it was just us in our little Motley, before we started to meet other Fae, other lost. And this was one of the places that we happened to go to first. And this was also the place that we first encountered other Lost. So it's been a safe place in that regard.
Also, I guess it's got this stupid little jukebox, and it barely works half the time, but in a way that's kind of funny. And I don't know, we all of us just thought that was kind of a fun thing, something interesting about that. And dare I say, sometimes when some people come in and get it working, there's this strange feeling people get, and well, being what we are now, that kind of feeling can be good. You can feed off it, and it's a nice feeling, so yeah, I guess that's just what little perk of the place.
There are many older people that come to this place, people who seem to relate to this jukebox, and when you play different songs on, you get reactions from some of them, and it is marvelous to look at, and it is marvelous to feel those different energies. Some feel jealous when they hear a song, some feel sad, some feel convivial.
Who is the person in charge? Who do you meet regularly here?
Well, I guess she's quite an old lady, really, isn't she? Husband passed away some time ago, but she keeps the place running. She's nice, she doesn't really ask too many questions. She seems quite content just to have people come to her place. Maybe she likes the company. I think people appreciate that. It's not a fancy place. Doesn't get too many customers, really, but the ones who go seem to go often. It's one of the few places in town that's still got that authentic old coffee shop feel. It's not a Starbucks yet or something.
Yeah, I think her name is Alana, but what is fun with her is that she knows everyone who goes here. And she thinks our group is funny because we're young compared to the rest of the clientele. I suppose she's funny in her own way too.
And she greets you as you open the door, Red. You step into the really quiet room. The jukebox is silent right now. There's some elderly people, yes, but 5 of them. It's still early, but they're here regularly. They drink their coffee. Ilana knows the taste of every one of them, knows exactly what they want, and so early in the morning there's not much spoken in this place. She greets you with a friendly smile and gestures to you to come closer.
I have arrived, I suppose, and yeah, I kick up my skateboard, pull my hoodie down a bit, and go over and say, "Hey."
Hey. Nice to see you. Good morning, young lady.
Morning. You alright?
I'm fine, as you can see. How are you?
I give a shrug, which for me often can mean actually not that bad.
Splendid. Maybe I can get you something.
No, that's okay. I'm just coming for a bit of a sit down.
Of course. Your usual place is free right now.
Again, I just give a nod. I do actually like the lady, but, you know, she's not one of my friends. I don't think I have many true friends, and everyone else I just find hard to please. I want to, though. I always want to please people. And I go and sit down, pull my hoodie up, and just sort of wait around, waiting for some of the others to arrive. I hope they arrive soon. I really am concerned about what's going on.
And as she sees you as a young person who is drinking much of the trendy stuff, you will get a chocolate coffee.
I admit, I'm not surprised, as I know that even when I say I don't want anything, she always sometimes throws us a little freebie, which is nice. I will take it and drink. I like chocolate coffee.
As she brings it to you, her gaze wanders over the little wonky jukebox, a little bit longingly. Every time when you come in and somebody of you chooses a song, there's something special. One could say she is a little bit too eager to hear these songs with you?
I smile on the inside, as outside I don't like to give too much away, but it has been a while. Could be nice. I will take a sip of coffee, get out $1, and I'll go and put one in. It's always a gamble if the first one's actually going to work, but let's see. I pick number 5.
You do. It's a song from back then, when all these people were still young, when rock and roll was a big danger to morale and morality. And you immediately feel the magic happening. You can roll for presence and socialize.
I roll 1 dice. 1 success.
This is great. The mood liftens. You feel it. They take you with you. There's some tapping of fingers and shoes. You can see the coffee and the cups. It's moving. There are little sound waves on top of it. You feel the moment. This is great. This is really great. It makes you forget all the horrible stuff from earlier. Yes. And the people, they're getting happy.
And you know, it's a good thing. I enjoy it just like the others. Yeah, it doesn't show like them, because I'm not like Penny or even Chester. I'm just sort of in the corner bobbing my head. When you look at me, you just see a girl in a red hoodie, and not much else. Of course, to be honest, I look the same to the others, although not quite, because of course when they look at me, I'm even harder to see. I'm always slightly out of phase, as if there's a bit of an after image blurring where I really am. But still, I bob my head a little and go back to sit down and, in my own way, quietly, enjoy these emotions. They are good emotions.
And you take one glimmer of this moment. As the door opens, Leandra comes in. And what does Ileana see when she looks into your face?
Alana sees a slightly deformed man. It's as if he has gone through some sort of operation in his face, like there's a long old stitch running through, making his eyes seem disproportionate, as if one is slightly above the others. But it's strange because however he tilts his head, it seems like they're never quite on the same level, and there is a bit too much hair where it's not really supposed to be. It's quite unsettling, a bit strange. They see me come in with a sort of looking like I'm dressed in corduroy, like an old teacher's suit, but a bit messed up. And I am always a bit nervous around her because I don't know what she will do, and she is playing strange games with me, which are sometimes fun, sometimes confusing. She likes to bring out a pastry and let me guess what's inside of it by letting me smell it, and I always feel like this is a show that I'm wondering if people are watching, but it's also endearing in a way.
And you come in the right moment. Everyone is cheery, especially Ilana, and as she sees you, her smile brightens even more. And she waves at you, and over the music you can hear her. "Ah, Leandra, come in, I have a special treat for you today."
And despite myself, despite the grim scene that I come from earlier this morning, I can feel my spirits lift, sort of almost against my will, and as Red probably sees me go in there, you see my scorpion's tail unwillingly lift high in the air, as the rest of my composure stays the same. The only difference is that, and you know it's usually a sign of being happy in a strange kind of way. And I see Red, and I nod to her, and I look at Alana, and I give in to myself. I have to see what she has prepared for me, and I walk over to her.
And she presents you a wonderful little cake. It's looking really soft, and it's still hot, so the smells are intensified.
It's newly baked, I think. I put my hands on the counter next to it, and I look into her eyes as if she's playing with fire, and I give a smile. And I kneel down, and I smell it. Oh, it smells wonderful. It smells extraordinary. I see something, a slight color, green, is it? And I look at her and I say, pistachio.
She smiles even more with a twinkle in her eye. You seem to be on the right path.
Is it pistachio? And there's something else, something also a bit nutty, pecan and vanilla.
He did it again! Unbelievable! And the whole cafe cheers to you. All these 6 people. Oh, there's Red. They are cheering to you. They're celebrating you. Not with fear.
And my head sinks a bit. I take the cheer and I let it pour over me, and I close my eyes for a bit, and I rustle through my pocket, and I try to find a crumpled up bill that I can pay for the pastry with.
You've been a really good boy today, she says to you, and gives you the money back. Take it with you and share it with your friends.
Mm-hmm. And I see that she has added an extra spoon to the pastry, and I nod. I don't say anything, but I try to smile as friendly as I can towards her. And I move over to Red's table, and I put it down there. And I just say, as way of greeting, I say, she wanted you to have this with me.
I guess we're gonna have to do it then. Hey, I give him a nod, which he'd know is my pretty much standard greeting for all things. I'm not really a hugger or a handshaker.
Neither am I. We have that in common. I lick my lips and I sit down on the other side of her.
I'm silent for a bit. I always find it awkward to start the conversation first, but I take in a breath and remark, You, seen any of the others? You think they're on their way? It's been a while. You been alright?
I look at the watch on my wrist. What are they late?
Yes, they are.
I look down at the pastry and I say, there's been an attack.
I look like I'm about to say something, but I stop and then remark after a pause. Go on.
Summer Court, I think. They attacked. Seems to be on someone from the other freehold, someone from the orchard. They were all dead when I got there.
I wrinkle my nose and tap my hand on the table. I don't get it. Okay, there was another attack as well, I guess. Someone just trashed the greenhouse. Like everything is just being completely wrecked. All the work we've been doing, it's just gone. I don't know. I was wondering if you'd know. I don't know what's going on. Why would the Summer Court do something like this?
Why would someone attack the greenhouse? You think it was some sort of retaliation?
Maybe. All this stuff's so pointless sometimes. Hey, the Queen's been trying to make peace after all with
Yeah.
the orchard. Does someone maybe not want that? I don't know why you wouldn't want that. Fighting each other is just so pointless when there's other things.
Well, Summer Court has always had a strange focus. I don't get it. November is trying to make things smoother. I was thinking perhaps Penny could know.
Yeah, she might. I mean, I don't know anything on my end. Like I said, we're trying to sort things out. I don't know why they go for our greenhouse, though. It's one of the few things we still do together, or did together, since she left. Well, at least, left my side of things.
I take a bit of the pastry and I put it in my mouth.
It tastes so well. For a moment, you lose yourself in the taste, and you see the other people in the room. If you want to, you can bath in the emotions. Take a little bit of it, a little bit of glamour.
And I spread what you can see as my long claws around on the table, and I sniff in the air, and I bathe in what they're experiencing, and I take that bit of glamour for myself, and you know what I'm doing. You know exactly what I'm doing.
You roll presence plus empathy.
I roll a 9.
So you can take some of it for you, for yourself, and you gain 1 point of glamour. Whilst Leander is enjoying himself, Red thinks a lot. This war has been going on for decades. Some even say for a century. This might be a pure coincidence that you're hit right now. Nobody knows why anybody attacks anybody. There's just attack, retaliation, revenge, getting back on each other. It's time to end this stuff. Or what do you think?
I don't really know. I agree that this needs to stop, but I don't know what to do for me. I want to know what Leandra wants to do, though, because... and the others as well, because they're my friends. I am, of course, grateful to my court, and I don't break the rules like Leandra did, but I swore that I wouldn't leave these guys again, no matter what, so I always tend to go with them. I have 1 or 2 other friends in the actual Autumn Court, of course, but I don't know if they're really my friends. I'm a bit too much of a people pleaser. I can't help it, though. I don't like being alone. It reminds me of before, and it's not a place I want to be, so I'm always trying to at least try and be involved in things. But yeah, I don't know. After a long pause and a lot of thinking, I'll say, so I mean, what do you think could be done about it? Should we tell someone? Maybe they already know.
The exoskeletal segments of my scorpion tail clicks a bit as it swings in the air, and my eyes fling open, sort of torn from my little moment. And I look at Red and I say, they're late.
I look a little impatient, tapping my hands together, and I kind of wasn't really paying attention to the time myself, so I look and go, oh, that's not like Ash.
No.
Penny and Chester maybe, but not Ash.
We don't meet that often. This was important. There's supposed to be peacekeeping talks tonight, or whatever. And now they're not showing. I might want to have a look at the greenhouse.
Yeah, yeah, I could take you back there and you could have a look. You're good at that sort of thing. I mean, the problem is, when I went there, the fruits, I kind of forgot why I was there, but I'm sure that would have diffused a bit by now.
I nod.
And hey, you never know, maybe later, like if this is something the Queen needs to know about, maybe you could tell her, and maybe that could actually get you forgiven, and then you could come back.
Well, I narrow my eyes a bit, but I don't look at you straight. I look to the side and seem to consider this, and I nod. Right. Do you want the rest? I look at the pastry.
I shake my head and quickly get up, going to grab my skateboard. I'm always very quick to do things when I want to do things, so you know that I'm basically giving you the go to be like, right, well, they're not here, they're late, so let's go quick. And, I mean, I've got my phone on me. If they turn up, they'll turn up, and they can ring us. We should go now.
I get up and I nod towards Alana and I say, I go over to her and say in a low voice, "Is the others sure you can tell them we went to the greenhouse?"
Of course I will, she says. She doesn't see your scorpion tail, but already can see in her eyes this fear, the knowing there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, and I see it. And I smell it also. It's because the music has stopped. When the music is on, people tend to forget. But now I see it. And I feel myself grow a little bit colder as I just leave and go out the door where Red is waiting.
As you walk out the door, it suddenly opens. There's a short moment where your mind twists about this idea, and then you run into a little person, not even half as high as you. A little girl, round about 9-10 years old. She wears a pretty dress, or it was pretty before it got muddy all over and a little bit torn. She wears some flowers, like a crown in her hair, which is also really untidy, yes. And she has a backpack on her back, like schoolgirls do, and it's filled. But, yeah, something amiss. And she looks up to you with a bright smile and says, "Hello, mister."
I look at her and I stop my step. And I wonder what she wants with me. I don't say anything, I just look at her.
"How are you, mister?"
What do you want?
"I'm looking for some friends. Are you looking for some friends too?"
What if I am?
"That would be great. We can find friends together."
Is there something off about this person?
Yeah, there might be. Roll wits plus composure. And since Red is watching you two, she can too.
No, I don't get any successes.
1 success.
You don't notice this on her, but on the door. There's something wrong. It's wide open, and while, yes, there is some sunlight you can see through the windows, but it's still really early and the sun hasn't climbed up over the rooftops. Through the door, there's bright sunshine, as if the sun were in the middle of the sky.
I snap to attention the second I notice this, and quickly put my hand out in front of my friend. just in case he was about to step through the door, as I guess we hadn't actually gone outside just yet. And I just hold him and wait, Leander, look.
And I narrow my eyes, and I look at the girl, and I look out the door. What's going on?
She's looking at you expectantly, as if she's waiting for you to come to some conclusions.
Yes, we're looking for our friends.
Great. Maybe you could come with me, and we will find some friends.
Where do you want to take us?
You will see. Then she, standing in the middle of the door frame, tries to slam close the door and going outside, escaping your grasp.
I try to reach out a hand to stop the door.
So that would be dexterity plus brawl for you, and she will roll against you.
3 successes.
But she is so much faster, unbelievably fast, and in a strange way strong. Before you can hold on to the door, she closed it, and for a second you can feel her resistance on the other side, keeping you from pulling it open again.
And I look over to Red. What?
Damn it! I look around. Now the door's been closed. Is the door even still there? I will go to try and get it open again, but I'm really worried that the door might not even be there anymore.
The door is still in its place, but as you open, there's the same old picture just like through the windows. This was a gate into the hedge, and you have to open it again. For this, you have to close the door, bid it to open an entrance, and then spend a little bit of your fey magic, 1 point of glamour.
Why would we want to go into the hedge?
Don't know. I don't want to follow her. Why would we want to go in the hedge? This could be anyone. This could be someone trying to, even someone working for... Fuck! I'm clearly panicking quite a bit because, obviously, this is an alarming situation.
I don't know how she knows us or what she wants. But I'm worried now. I'm worried about our friends. Should we follow her? What shall we do, Red?
I look around everywhere else. Anything else strange going on, or is everything else normal? The streets, the coffee shop?
Outside of the cafe, everything is normal. And your chance to learn something about these friends is getting smaller and smaller.
And that is what kicks it a little, because what I actually think that maybe this person knows something, and maybe that could help. Maybe we do need to follow her in the hedge. I know it's a dangerous situation, but then sometimes I have a habit of ignoring the danger in a situation and taking risks when I don't need to. No, I think she might... Maybe she knows something. Let's follow her. Why didn't she leave the door open if she wanted us to follow her? God damn it. And I will try and get the door open.
Maybe it's a test. Well, she did know we were looking for friends as well as she did. It must be something. I think. And I say.
What do you tell the door to do?
I take a moment to remember the words. And I say, "Door, please open for us humble folk. We are willing to pay if you just open and let us through. This time."
And as there is no coincidence with Fae, your Fae magic works, and the door opens a little bit. Heavy sunshine coming through. Please spend 1 point glamour.
I shall, and as it opens, I dart through, motioning for Leandra to follow.
I crinkle my nose. I hate running through the edge. I'm losing something every time. And I follow.
You step out into the bright and green sunlight. The city is all around you, but greener. Everywhere are little plants and flowers, and you can see the spaces between the houses, in the windows, in the doors. They are the thorns. Sometimes they're just shadows, sometimes they're true brambles. The street, it leads for a little bit straight forward, but then it's getting curvy and it leads into different directions. This is what one would call a trot, a path through the hedge. It's very dangerous to leave these thorns, because you get lost in the thorns. Great prizes lay deep in there, but it's often not worth the risk to get lost. A little bit down the street, you can see the tiny creature. Still a little girl. And that's unusual. Normally, your mask, which hides your changeling features and the features of true fae and goblins, would be eradicated in the hedge. And as you look at each other, you can see your true forms without any human mask or face over it. The door closes slowly behind you, and the little girl waves at you. "Catch me if you can!" And then she is off, running down the street.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the adventure Hearts on Trial for Changeling the Lost 2nd Edition. Hearts on Trial was written by Megan Fitzgerald and Kira McGran. Changeling the Lost is published by Onyx Path Publishing. The music was made by Lissa Listvi and Mount Shrine and was used with permission from their label Cryo Chamber. You can find more delicious dark ambient at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel. Our storyteller and editor for this adventure was our patron Tobias. If you want to lead us on an adventure, do check out our Patreon. The show would not be possible without your generous support there. You give us so much energy, help us cover our costs, and open up time to record and edit. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you.